Philly cheesesteak egg rolls are probably the best appetizer hands down. I'll order these at any restaurant I go to, but most don't have them, so I usually got to make them myself. These things is loaded with steak and cheese and finished off with this sweet chili sauce. Perfect app. Let me show you guys exactly how to make them. All right, so for a good cheesesteak egg roll, all you need is a really good piece of steak, high quality meat. So I got a ribeye here that's really good, marbled. You can use a sirloin, New York strip, whatever you want to do, but I prefer ribeye. Steak and cheese, of course, you're gonna have onions, cheese in the steak. I like to use these Dynasty egg roll wraps. You can use the vegan ones, but to me, those break apart too much. I actually like these, they fry really well. All right, and I got one more ingredient for y'all, hold up. Hey, I'm gonna really make the Philly people mad with this one. Cause I'm putting some peppers in mine. Y'all better argue with your mother. All right, so first thing I did was put my steak into the freezer for about an hour. That way it'll firm up and it'll be a lot easier for me to cut. So with a sharp knife, shout out to my guy, I'm just gonna cut as many thin strips as I can, right? You almost wanna shave the ribeye. I mean, like, really shaved. This big old fatty piece was gonna give me a lot of work to cut off, so I'm just gonna take that, trim that off. Let me make this a little easier for myself to cut. All right, but slice as thin as we can. So you can get the pre-shaved steak from the store, but I actually prefer shaving it myself. To me, it tastes better. The pre-shaved one in the store, I don't know what cut of steak that is, but it ain't the best one you can get. But you see how thin that is? All right, so now that we got the long strips, we just take everything, just give it one more good chop, make it easy to cook. All right, so yeah, pretty much now I'm gonna just prep the veggies. I just wanna cut these peppers up into slices and then dice them so that they mirror almost the same size as the steak after I cook it down. Get your peppers, you can lay it flat. Just slice it first. After you slice it, make sure you keep your fingers tucked. After you slice it, turn it on its side and give it a good dice. I like to dice mine up pretty small because I'd rather get a lot of steak and less pepper in every bite. Just like that. Do the same thing with the red peppers and the onion, and then you'll be good to go. All right, so I got my baby Cassie right here. Nice cast iron skillet, black and beautiful. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna turn this on medium-high heat and then sear this steak up. All right, so once the pan is nice and smoky, that means it's hot, ready to go. We're gonna go ahead and add some avocado oil. All right. And you can tell it's not too hot because the oil's running. It's not popping all over the place. Gonna go right in with that steak. I'm spreading the steak across the bottom of the pan just to make sure that it covers the surface area of the pan and everything browns about evenly. Now that I see the color coming up from the bottom of the steak, I'm gonna give it a good mix. Now I can move it around. You see it's not sticking too much. If your food sticks, even though you have a hot pan with a lot of oil in it, that means it's not ready to release from the bottom of the pan. Just let it do its thing. When it's ready to release, it will, I promise. So we're about 75% of the way through. I'm gonna go ahead and add these veggies. Get those all mixed in. The reason I don't start with the veggies is because I want the steak to sear first, because the veggie is gonna add a lot of moisture, which is gonna take away from that sear. It's not gonna allow the meat to get brown. Now that we added the veggies, I'm gonna go in here with a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. Just a couple dashes. Some all-purpose seasoning. and a little adobo. Get that all mixed up. Just look at that. Let's go on here with that cheese that we shredded up. Just gonna get that added just like that. You can turn the heat off at this point and just get that cheese all mixed in. Look at that. That pepper jack is a really good stringy cheese. It melts really well. It's got a lot of flavor to it. And if you're looking for that cheese pull, look, you already got it. All right, so now that our steak mixture cooled off a little bit, we're gonna go ahead and start the wrapping process. So what I have here is these egg roll wraps that we talked about earlier, the Dynasty ones. I have some American cheese. I made a cornstarch slurry so that we can seal the egg rolls when they're done. And I'm gonna finish with a little bit of mozzarella and provolone just so we get a little extra cheese pull after we wrap them. Let's get started. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do is lay down this American cheese. I'm only using half a slice of this American cheese. That processed cheese is a must, I'm telling y'all right now. All right, scoop that cheesesteak mixture into there and spread it out the length of that American cheese. Right, the American cheese is gonna give it the creaminess, and this mozzarella cheese, mozzarella and provolone mixture is gonna help to give us that cheese pull. All right, so we're gonna take that cornstarch slurry. Let me mix it up with my finger a little bit. Pause that, but we're gonna get that on all the edges of the egg roll. All right, this is like the hardest part. People always complain, like, how do I wrap an egg roll? How do I wrap an egg roll? I'm gonna show you right now. All right, so with the egg roll, you got the four corners. What you're gonna do is take two of the middle corners and bring them to the middle of the egg roll, just over that cheese mixture, right? You're gonna pull the bottom that's closest to you and tuck that over the entire cheesesteak mixture, right? And these are fragile, so you wanna be very careful, but you wanna tuck and kind of pull towards you a little bit, right? You're just tucking that mixture into the egg roll to make sure nothing seeps out. So you still got these edges exposed. What I'm gonna do is hit it with a little bit more of this cornstarch slurry. Tuck and roll, tuck and roll. All right, just keep remembering that. Tuck and roll. If y'all paid attention to this much of the video, just go ahead and comment down below, tuck and roll. All right, so next person y'all see in the comments asks, how can you roll an egg roll? Tuck and roll. Tuck and roll, baby, look at that. Look how easy that is. Tucking everything inside the egg roll wrap. It's gonna be nice and tight. Nothing exposed because we use that cornstarch slurry. And just look at that thing right there. Y'all see that? Come on now. Perfect egg roll every time. So I'm gonna put this over here onto this parchment lined baking sheet so that they don't stick together and they also don't dry out too much, all right? Now that our oil's heated up to 350, we're gonna take our egg rolls and just drop them. I like to use a wok just so I can slide them right in. I don't just have to lay them and worry about the oil popping everywhere. Look at that. That's like perfect right there. So I'm gonna probably put like 3 in at a time, right? Don't wanna overcrowd. I'm just moving them around a little bit. Not agitating them too much, but just to make sure that they don't stick to each other or stick to the bottom of the skillet either. All right, so once these things are done, I'm gonna just take it and slice it at an angle or on a bias, however you want to do it. You can slice it in the middle, but I'm gonna do mine like that so you can see as much filling as possible. Sure. I just want to hit him, baby. Jeez. I don't know if y'all can still hear the crunch. I told y'all these are the truth right here.